Crowhill here. Today we review a brown ale and discuss the Charlie Kirk assassination. Yo, pigweed, all right.
Good
to see
evening,
you.
Crowhill. How are you? How about some beer and
That
conversation?
sounds like a great idea. What are we drinking?
This is a Belgian brown ale.
Belgian brown
yes,
ale.
from Dogfish.
You're not usually a big Belgian fan.
I'm not. We'll see what we have.
Okay,
All right.
very good. All right.
What's on your mind?
Well, I asked a friend today about the Virginia Attorney General who made all those, disgusting comments about, wanting to see Republicans' children die in their laps and that sort of thing.
Pissing on graves, that kind of thing.
And he wasn't aware of it. And I was like, how could you not be? How could you not be aware of this? And it makes me realize that in a lot of ways, everybody's in their own bubble.
Really?
And they
really are.
People,
Including me, I
people
suppose.
that.
I don't feel like I am, but
Exactly. So that made me wonder, like, a lot of times I think, well, here's Charlie Kirk and he's doing all this kind of stuff. Is there a guy on the left who's like Charlie Kirk? And the fact, I have to wonder, am I in a bubble where I don't even know about
Where
such
somebody else would be like, how do you not know about this guy?
Yeah, how do you know about this guy? Where somebody else might be saying, how do you not know about Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I never heard of the guy until he was assassinated.
Right. Yeah, I know. So there probably is, and I've got some contenders later on, but I was just thinking about how much we get into these bubbles and aren't even aware of other things that are going on. Yeah. All right. So anyway, what do you think about this beer? What are we going to do?
So, Raison Dêtre. This is a deep mahogany Belgian-style brown ale brewed with beet sugar, raisins, and Belgian-style yeast. I guess the little raison is part of the raisin joke. And it said so. They brewed it in 1996 as the answer to the question, what beer should I enjoy with a wood-grilled steak? It's as tasty and fine. It's tasty and complex as a fine red wine, which I suppose that's what you would drink wine-wise with a wood-grilled steak.
Normally, I would drink wine with a steak. Yes, this is interesting. It's got. I think I can taste the raisins. And I think I can. I'm not exactly sure what beet sugar does. You know, I imagine it's just adding some ABVs to the.
But the
mix.
the Belgian yeast flavor that you get in a Hefe.
Yeah,
I'm not really getting.
No, I'm not getting a lot of that Belgian twangy kind of a yeast flavor.
Or the sometimes they say banana.
Yeah. The Belgian yeasts for the listeners tend to be a little wilder than a lot of other yeasts. Like a German lager or a Czech Pilsner goes for a crisp flavor.
Yeah, the yeast is not really is just getting in there doing its job and getting out of the way.
Right. But in the Belgian, a lot of Belgian beers, the yeast is part of the experience.
Very much so.
So, but I'm not getting that here.
Not really.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's having probably a hard time fighting through the beet sugars and the raisins
8%,
and the 8% and the sweetness.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very interesting.
It's funny. It smells more Belgian-y than it tastes.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, getting some Belgian yeast aroma.
Yeah, a touch of that banana sort of a smell in there. Yeah, it's good. I like it. And
old Dogfish. They just.
I guess I'm going to have to cook a steak on a wood fire and see what I get.
Yes.
Have you ever done that? You ever cooked a steak on a wood fire?
I guess. Even camping. Yeah.
I think that's the only time I've ever done it. Is camping.
I mean, I've got a little wood yard.
Yeah,
but I don't. It's not really set up.
It's not set up for cooking. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
Very nice. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated on what was it, September 10th, I believe. September 12th. I was as upset by a national event unlike anything since 9/11.
Yeah.
I've been upset by personal, things that happened in my life. But as far as something that didn't really touch me personally, as anything else. And I just did not feel like I wanted, everybody had their immediate reaction to it, and I said, I just need to calm down and
think about it.
And then let the dust settle, and then see, and we'll discuss the aftermath and the consequences and whatever afterward. And so here we are, a couple months out, and or what are we at? About 6 weeks out?
Yeah. But why do you think it was such? Because it was a very striking, dramatic thing. A lot of people had a big reaction to this. And why? What? I mean, you might say a lot of people were upset when Martin Luther King was assassinated, right? I mean, it was almost that sort of a thing. It's like, here's this guy who is...
But back to your bubble comment.
Yeah.
Did he just come to the radar of some people? Like, to me, he was a national figure the size of Martin Luther King, but probably only in my bubble.
Yeah.
Probably plenty of CNN watchers and never heard of the guy.
Never heard of him, yeah.
So,
right.
But the people who had paid attention to his rise,
yes.
And, there are people in the Daily Wire crowd, they're like, Charlie's going to be president one day, right? When he was 25.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Even though he didn't have a college degree.
Even though he didn't have a college degree.
It's a very, very smart guy, though. Obviously reads a lot.
Yeah.
You hear these guys where they can take on any topic and speak eloquently on that topic. Right. And you're just like, how do you do that?
I know. Well, he walked right. He'll sit in that sort of round circle, like it's 20 on 1.
Yeah.
He goes to the Oxford debate thing and takes on the entire team.
Right.
As a
uneducated. But he does well because he's very smart.
He's very smart and very well read and absorbs it all and has some. One thing he has, I think, over the years. Before, it was just grounded in basic conservative principles, and little by little became more Christian based. Don't you think?
So. I think so. Yeah.
I think in the beginning it was just standard.
I think so too.
So one of the reasons I wanted to wait is I said, let's wait and see what the deal is about this shooter.
Because we don't know. I mean, they come out with a guy and they say this is the shooter. How do we know it's the shooter? And we haven't really heard anything about that.
Well, what's his life like? Who he's connected to? What the people like? This is all going to come out once they do this investigation. We'll find out who he's. I don't know that we know all that much more about him today than we did 3 days after he was captured.
So was he funded by the Mossad or by the Chinese or by the Russians, do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure all those theories are out there swirling.
Theories, yeah.
So this person, who won't even give his name, was a 22-year-old. I think he was a dropout, right? He got a full scholarship to Utah State, where was he shot? At University of Utah?
University of Utah, I think, yeah.
Or Utah State.
Yeah, good question.
So he got a scholarship to the other one.
Yeah.
That he didn't go to this school. And 4-year scholarship, and didn't complete his first year.
Wow.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
But my favorite was this. I mean, this was like the first night liberal talk show already declaring, we may never know what his ideological position was. And you know what? For all we know, he cut Charlie off in traffic. Right. We may never know. Well, it's been day 2. Clearly what you're doing is saying, we don't want to, let's not talk about his motives.
Isn't it? It's the sick thing in our modern life that whenever there's an event like this, somebody shoots up a school, somebody kills somebody, somebody sets up a bomb, everybody is like, oh no, is it from our side or is it from their side?
Yeah.
They're always trying to find out.
You're right. They circle the wagons, pray against the other team.
Yes. They're hoping, oh gosh, I hope it's one of them.
Right. So my reaction to her reaction is she knows it's her team and says, let's focus on other things because we're probably never going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
It's day 2. What do you mean we're never going to get to the bottom of this?
Yeah. And who's the late night alleged comic? Jimmy Kimmel, who made those stupid comments about trying to, we talked about this in an earlier episode.
Yeah.
Trying to say that the shooter was actually a MAGA guy, and it was.
Oh, they've been
really...
they pushed the Republican thing from the start. I guess because I think his parents voted Republican or something like that.
Right.
All right. So what we do know is he's had a trans boyfriend roommate,
also a furry or something,
and a furry thing
something
going
weird,
on.
Yeah. But I don't want to even talk about this guy.
But we knew that 24 hours after he was captured, and so I don't know why. Is it that nobody's curious, or he's not talking, or there's no where is the furry trans roommate?
So what I want to get into is a big part of the reaction to the assassination of Charlie Kirk was to call the Democratic Party the party of violence. And a lot of people said, well, that's not fair because it's just this one guy. We don't know if he's a Democrat, but that's really not the point. The point was the reaction by the Democrats to this. Like, some people were celebrating it. Some people were...
There was a guy celebrating at the event.
Yeah.
Right? Sees the shooting and turns around and says, yeah!
Yeah. So the calling them the party of violence is, and it actually is borne out by statistics where they survey people, do you believe political violence is acceptable? And Democrats are far more likely to say yes than Republicans, like 3 times more likely. Or more,
But you have somewhere in the very liberal to the mildly liberal to, once you get up to regular Democrat, once you put those numbers together, you're in the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, if you had a chance to kill Hitler, whatever do, and we just called Trump and Charlie Kirk Hitler for the last 7 years.
Yeah, well, see, that's another part of it. That's another part of it. A lot of people were blaming the radical left. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance both said that this falls at the feet of the radical left who've been calling people Hitler and Nazis and communists, and not communists, I guess, but I mean, they've been saying all kinds of nasty things about a fascist, right? About Charlie Kirk for a long time. And then isn't that going to, so, I didn't used to like this idea of this whole creating a climate of hate thing. Mm-hmm. People, they would say, you're creating a climate of hate, and that's what's causing these violent things. My reaction was, well, look, just because people are saying things doesn't mean... But you have to remember that there are some unhinged people out there, some fringe people, mm-hmm. and they hear this, this guy's a fascist, this guy's a Nazi, this guy's a whatever, this guy's intolerant, bigot, everything else. And they think... Yeah, if I could kill Hitler before he did his thing, I should have done it. Yeah. This is
there's a quote from Teddy Roosevelt, who was shot. Mm-hmm. There's something that is along those lines, that you weak and you give inspiration to weak and violent minds.
Right. Yes.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about Charlie Kirk and free speech? Because I think that was another big thing that came up, was Charlie Kirk would stand there in front of this huge crowd of people, and people would line up to ask questions. And he would say, okay, everybody who disagrees with me, you come to the front of the line. And even if it was a pro-Charlie Kirk thing, somebody would start asking a question, and the crowd would go, rah, rah, and he'd say, no, let him speak. Yeah. Now, I always thought that, I was very impressed by that.
I believe, I think I'm right about this, that right up to the point of his assassination, the point he's making is, if we don't have these conversations, if we're not allowed to discuss, it will only lead to violence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like almost the last thing he said on this planet.
Right.
And there you have it.
Yeah. And that's true, because you have to be able to understand that the others, a lot of people criticize, this is going to seem irrelevant, but it's not. A lot of people criticize The Lord of the Rings because it makes the it makes good and evil a little too straightforward. You know, like the bad guys are the orcs. And, you know, there's nothing good about an orc. You can kill an orc at any time because they're orcs, right?
They're gross.
This idea of when you make the other side into a monster, then you don't have to worry about them, care about them, anything like that. So
dehumanize. Yeah.
Dehumanize, demonize. When you do that to your opponent, then you are creating an environment where it's easy to say, oh, yeah, kill those people. Who cares? They're not really people anyway.
Right. Yeah, and it's remarkable the seemingly ordinary Democrats that are, you know, teaching your kids and are nurses in your hospitals openly revealed themselves to be vile human beings.
Oh, yeah.
Then they got exposed, and then they got fired. And when we talked about the whole cancel culture business, but but I didn't realize that you know your neighborhood crossing guard is secretly going, he got what he deserved. Right. I think people like that. And of course, when he says people like that, he has no idea what he's talking about. Yeah. He's never heard Charlie Kirk speak. Right. He's never at all. He just knows that he's a Trump supporter and a conservative, and so that's all he needs to. That's enough for him to say. He was asking for it.
Exactly. All he knows is that his pink-haired, crazy friends say he's a hater and a fascist. Yes. And that's all he needs to know.
That's all he needs to know. But it's not. It's all he needs to know to take him down the road of good. I'm glad to see his death is a good thing. I mean, these people are disgusting and lack any. They're not even. They're barely human. But they're amongst us. They're the cashier. That
was the thing that came out.
The neighborhood dog walker.
That was the thing that came out. Is you had nurses who would say, you know, people like that ought to die. And then so you're sitting there.
Wait a minute. What if you find out my dad, with the IV in his arm, is a Trump voter?
Yeah. So
can I trust you around him?
I am in the hospital, and I've got IVs in my arms, and this nurse comes in. And maybe the nurse has like purple hair and crazy tattoos and whatnot. And I'm thinking, gosh, I better pretend to be a liberal or she's going to kill me.
I know. Somebody brought me flowers with an American flag in them. Maybe I ought to.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe I ought to hide the flag because my life is in this crazy woman's hand.
Yes. And unfortunately, we are at that spot where a lot of people think, you know, it's okay to kill somebody because they.
Yeah, and so, you know, but I think one of the unfortunate things was all of the conservative riots and violence and burning things down and calling for the murder of their opponents. You know how conservatives are. You know,
we're always doing that.
They're always doing that, and this is where this is kind of like a Twitter meme thing is we are not the same.
Yeah.
And I like that. This is a case where we are not the same.
Absolutely. Because if some prominent liberal had been shot, there would have been cities burning. There would have been riots. And
I mean, you had a drug addict die in police custody and burn the country down for 3 months.
Right. So
imagine if it was a prominent, you know, well-loved speaker on the left.
Exactly, which we have to come to who is that person. But anyway, if so Charlie Kirk gets killed, and what do you get out of the right? You get prayer vigils. You get
prayer vigils where leftists show up and try to trash your prayer vigil and your memorial.
Yeah. No, we are not the same.
No,
the left is. I'm sorry. The left is the party of violence right now.
Maybe
it's not always been that way. Maybe it's been different in the past. Right now, the left is the party of violence.
I don't want to hear the both sidisms.
I know. It's not both sides. We are not the same. We are not the same. And the left is much more comfortable with violence than the right is. So who's going to fill Charlie Kirk's shoes?
Hold on, let's do the Erica religious aspect first.
Sure, yeah.
And then and kind of wrap that. So like I said, I think he was grounded more in faith and Christianity later in life than he was in the beginning. But you know, a montage of TikTok reactions don't amount to a hill of beans, really. But there were a lot of people who were conservative but not Christian,
Yeah.
sounding like. As a result, you know what? I think I need to find more about. I need to attend church more.
Supposedly, Bible sales shot up after Charlie Kirk got killed.
And Turning Point USA chapters in high schools and colleges apparently, hard to keep up with at the. So, in terms of the legacy, like did they accomplish, or is it like whenever you. If you just if you kill a guy, yeah, you might end his influence.
Yeah.
Unless you martyr a person, and then I think that's kind of the definition of a martyr.
Yeah.
Right.
Is they become more powerful after that?
Yeah.
If you strike me down, I'll only become more powerful, Darth.
Oh my God, he worked in a
Star Wars reference.
That's
not a good quote. But didn't have it quite right.
So, and what about his influence on the youth vote?
Yeah.
Or at least the youth male vote.
Supposedly, he did more than anybody to get youth interested in conservative politics.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you think about it, K through 12 education is fairly liberal, but college education is just like 95% liberal. When they look at stats on college professors, they are absolutely dominantly on the left.
Yes.
And colleges have become indoctrination machines where people they do everything they can to force you to be liberal in college.
And there are plenty of young men, even with this lifetime of indoctrination, are going, I'm not buying it.
Right.
Are going, and I'm kind of sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the blue-haired namby-pambies on the left, they're the male feminists are all in.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of dudes who are still dudes and know that they're dudes who are like, I'm not sure, who probably haven't even heard the Charlie Kirk or the conservative side until they do. And the problem is they also might go Nick Fuentes on you if
maybe testosterone is like a blocker of liberal thinking, right? Which maybe that's why they want to feed us with all these estrogen mimicking chemicals and everything. Get more.
Yes. Well, education is, or early childhood education is about feminizing boys.
Yeah. The whole educational system is designed to turn little boys into good little girls.
Yes,
and it's
but
absolutely
you know
true.
what? I think that even with falling T levels, it's still strong enough to fight its way through. And back to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
He has struck a nerve with those guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So Erica, they had the big event. They reserved some big stadium or something.
Yeah. I think he's from
people.
Arizona, so I think it was University of Arizona.
Yeah, so they went there and they had this great big event. And Erica Kirk made this amazing statement where she got up and said she forgives the shooter.
Right.
And it was a very religious event. A lot of people saying all kinds of things about Charlie. But there was some talk about the assassination of Charlie Kirk causing a religious revival. No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
There's Bible sales shot up. A lot of people said maybe I should go back to church. But, here we are a few weeks out, and I'm not seeing...
what you would call a revival.
Yeah, but there was a little bump. There was a little bump. But I don't see...
Right, and maybe there's a smattering of, more of increased churchgoers.
Yeah.
That, I wouldn't call it. But, so she... I don't know what her role was in Turning Point before.
Yeah. But they made her the new...
CEO, right?
Yeah, right. And I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I haven't heard a whole lot about what they're doing recently. But she seems to be a very smart, capable person. And, maybe she is the right person to take on the mantle. But I haven't seen what they're doing. What I have seen is all over the country, people have been applying to have TPUSA chapters on their campus.
I wonder what kind of resistance there is. I mean, I can just imagine school going, whoa, there,
Yeah, you can't do that.
Based on, they'll find some subsection in some, thing that says, or just do everything they can not to provide security, not to provide, right?
Or they'll say the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is the most
declared you as a hate group, and therefore all we're doing is following,
Right.
No, it's not my decision.
Right, it's not my decision. So here's a clue to listeners: if you cite the Southern Poverty Law Center as an authority, you're a moron.
Yeah. I mean, even the ACLU, that once had some respectability, now they're SPLC also.
Yeah, the Southern Poverty Law Center is just a rank partisan.
Yeah, and using that as your authority. Well, I'm not saying it. The SPLC is saying. I'm like, well, all right.
Yeah, okay.
We know where that's coming from. You've heard of the Crowd? What's Crowder's first name?
Crowder.
Just Crowder.
Crowder. Yeah, he does the change my mind thing.
Yes, and so the first time I ever saw somebody just set up a table at a college and put and say, this is my controversial topic, change my mind, and then you can come sit down and take a mic and he'll discuss the facts with you.
Mm-hmm.
That was pre Charlie Kirk.
I think so.
Don't you think?
I remember seeing
at least I heard about Crowder first.
I remember seeing the Louder with Crowder stuff a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to say Charlie stole anything from the guy. What I'm saying is having those kind of conversations are the things that should be going on.
Yes.
Of course, he was killed for it, and while saying that these are the kinds of things that we need to have, but I've seen other people whose names I don't even know.
Yeah.
Setting up tables, and maybe we'll see people all over the place.
Yeah,
setting up tables and saying, "This is, I know you don't think that BLM is a scam. Change my mind, or whatever."
Right.
And saying we're going to have an open conversation without people coming in. Of course, they're going to tipping over tables, and the reaction is always the screaming and violence. But
so the typical reaction, the stereotypical reaction of the left to BLM is a scam, change my mind, is they just come up and say, you're full of hate. Well, you're a Nazi. You're a hater.
It's always ad hominem. Yeah. It's always name calling. Yeah. It's always, you're bad, I'm good, you're evil. All right. And then on the right, they're always like, all right.
Okay, let's get past that.
Right.
Do you have an argument?
What is your point?
Yes.
That is my point. You're hate. Get hate off my campus. All
right.
Well,
we shouldn't even give you a platform.
Well, right. Then there's that.
You have no right to speak.
So you have these calm, rational approaches to sensitive topics that set the left on fire, and you have people who can back them up. In every radio market in the country, the most liberal, Washington D.C., I'm sure Los Angeles and New York have all-day stations of conservative radio hosts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
for some reason, liberals just can't do that. Like Rush did a great job. He was the one who started the whole thing.
I mean,
and then
he's like, no, it's going to be just me. And it's going to be from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, and I'm just going to talk for 3 straight hours every day.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and he made talk radio.
And now it is a genre or whatever.
And now there's hundreds of conservative talk radio hosts, and almost no liberals. And the liberals have tried to get somebody, and I think the reason it doesn't work for the liberals is they don't have anything interesting to say.
Well, it's back to the table thing that we were talking about. Yes, when one guy has history and facts and logic on his other side, on his side, and the other side is you're a racist,
hater, you're a racist.
But, you can't do that for 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And suppose Michelle Obama has a show now,
Lord.
and apparently it's doing terribly because
Where's
I mean,
this?
she just has nothing to say except her regrets and her.
And you know the top 1%, no, fraction of 1% most privileged person in the planet has nothing to talk about but her own victimhood.
I know.
So you know what?
Yeah.
People don't really want to hear that.
I know.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly, right. So I did wonder. Well, so there's two things I think we need to cover.
Yes.
One is who is the successor to Charlie Kirk,
Right.
and then who is the
who might be the
equivalent-
counterpart.
Who might be the counterpart? Yeah. So the successor, I think the most obvious successor is J.D. Vance. Honestly, I mean he can stand up and take all comers and
Think on his feet
he
and
is
not get rattled.
really smart and very capable of fielding those kinds of questions regularly. So I think he's one. I mean, Crowder to some extent is also somebody who can do the same.
Now, what was his dust up with the Daily Wire? He was supposed to join Daily Wire, and it
I
never
know.
came through because of some little. I mean, he seemed to. It seemed to kind of fit into the Daily Wire family.
I don't know. I mean, I generally speaking try to stay away from those kind of things because it just seems like gossipy stuff, and I don't care. It seems like it was a ego.
That's what the feeling I got.
Yeah, but I don't know.
They're going to offer him $25 million, and
Yeah.
he couldn't believe that was all they're going to offer, or something like
something like that. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but anyway, you have to expect people who are
But when you say
level.
but I mean, J.D. Vance still has still might be president.
Yes, I know.
So who do you have that is actually on the ground?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guys at the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro is crazy smart.
Yeah, he'll go on anything. He's been trying to get himself invited onto The View forever.
Yeah, right.
And
they're afraid to have him on because he'd carve them up. And then there's other people on the Daily Wire who are pretty. Matt Walsh is pretty smart, and Michael Knowles is pretty good. Although he's not my favorite of the group.
But you know, I don't know if you've seen him sit in one of those 1-on-20 situations.
He does pretty well.
They, with class and elegance and reservation, but in terms of TPUSA, who is going to go campus to campus?
Yes, exactly. Because those guys, they do a little bit.
Well, the
Shapiro
the TPUSA tour has continued. Was already established with Charlie there.
Yeah.
So the schedule is already there, and it's continued. And
Megyn Kelly
went, and Michael Knowles headlined, and so.
And Megyn Kelly's very smart. I mean, there's a lot of very smart conservative commentators out there. So I don't know which one's gonna come to the top. I don't know. It would be nice if there was somebody else in TPUSA that maybe Charlie Kirk trained or was like a protege.
The understudy. Yeah.
That could now step up, but I don't know who that is.
I don't either. Yeah. But I'm sure. I mean, he couldn't have grown that organization so large and so quickly all by himself.
Yeah.
Right. He's got a lot of talented people working in that organization, or wouldn't be so successful.
He's got to have a lot of them. So then the question is, can a liberal do the same thing? Can a liberal go
into a conservative environment with a prove me wrong sign and a microphone and take on all comers?
Right. Now there's one advantage that the liberal has. You see, if a liberal goes to Bob Jones University and says, okay, I'll take on all comers, they're going to be respectful. They're not going to yell at them and call them haters and all that. Because and this, I'm not just making this up. When Bernie Sanders went to speak at Liberty University, he was later on saying, they were very kind to me and they respected me and they listened to me and as a matter of fact, Liberty University said, if you treat this guy with disrespect, you're out of here. Yeah. They're very. because conservatives believe.
Yeah, where a liberal university says we can't guarantee your safety.
Exactly.
You have to pay for your own security, just so you can't speak on their campus.
Yes.
This campus, which is dedicated to higher learning.
Yes, and we can't guarantee.
So you might get killed.
That our blue-haired freaks aren't going to try to kill you.
It could happen.
Burn the place down.
Yeah, and we're going to make it prohibitively difficult for you to speak.
Who's our friend McDonald? The lady writes. Anyway, she went to speak. Heather McDonald went to speak at a university, and they set fires and stuff. These people are crazy.
Yes, she had to take refuge in a bathroom.
Right.
And, nobody came to her aid.
So the liberals have the benefit.
Right. For bringing, she's big on stats. For bringing stats about crime and race that were uncomfortable for people.
Right. Yeah.
She's not a hate monger. She's like, all right, I'm just telling you what from your FBI says this. Get off our camera.
So the liberals have the advantage that if they go to a conservative university, if they go to Bob Jones University or Liberty University or someplace like that, they're going to be treated well. So it should be easier for them.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know who it is. Now, I do have a couple names.
Good.
And I don't even know who these people are. Hassan Piker, a popular Twitch streamer known for his progressive political commentary and massive youth audience. Okay. Dean Withers, another TikTok streamer.
The first one, the name means something. Go ahead. No, the second one, no.
And then the last one, Destiny.
Well, you know what? I have heard Destiny, or actually not. I've heard Destiny and Ben Shapiro.
Now I
on
know
Ben
that
Shapiro's show.
Yeah, I know that they had a debate, and I want to listen to it. I haven't heard it yet.
And yes. I don't know, Destiny. Come on.
I want to know if
yes, but Destiny. Are you like a drag performer? Can you get a better moniker than that?
Destiny.
That is so lame. But, however, I did think he was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because I want to see somebody who can stand toe to toe with Ben Shapiro.
Yeah. Ben's not going to belittle you or you know what I mean, and insult his way to victory.
No. So maybe one of those guys. Maybe that's the liberal version of Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I'd like to find out.
Yeah. All right, I think I'm done here. How about Charlie Kirk Halloween costumes? would you ever get some? I mean, we are not the same. That's all I'm saying. I'm just good. That's one little extra. Yeah. We are not the same. We would not do that.
No.
We would not do that. Did you see any overdosing George Floyd costumes on?
Unfortunately, at Halloween at the Crowhill household, there's not one trick or treater.
What?
Not one trick or treater.
So, how much candy do you have?
Too much. We bought a bowl of candy.
You did, yeah.
And not a single trick or treater. And the light was on.
And you have the classic suburban sidewalk, safe sidewalk neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
still not a single one. Good grief. What happened
to these days?
I know. Come on. I remember we used to walk all over the place Halloween night.
Unsupervised and never set anything on fire, but I had a good time.
Almost got in a knife fight one night on Halloween.
Oh, right. Well, we'll save that. Okay, so, up note is, yes, martyr is probably, the guy who may accomplish more in his death and his life, and will continue on and will inspire others and, in a positive way.
Yeah. All right.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for listening to Beer and Conversation with Pigweed and Crowhill. Remember to visit us at pigweedandcrowhill.com or send us an email at pigweedshow@gmail.com.